Welcome to Navigating Your 20s. I'm your host, Jess Hugo, and I am so excited to have you here. I'm an online personal trainer and nutritionist, but honestly, underneath it all, I am just a girl who is struggling, thriving, and surviving somehow all at once. So if this is you, you are not alone. If you want all the juicy tea on what it's like to be a girl navigating her 20s, I'm talking relationships, health, fitness, social life, work, and everything in between, then you're in the right place. Hello queens, welcome back to the podcast. I'm so excited to be here again. I feel like there's so many ideas and things flowing in my head, but the first thing I want to talk about is how fucking cold it has been lately. Hello, winter is not even here yet and it's in full force. I feel like I sound a little bit sick. I'm not. I don't know why, but when I woke up this morning, I was like, ugh, why do I sound sick? What's going on? So excuse that. I'm so sorry. I'm not sick. I don't know what's going on. Touch wood, but I can't remember the last time I was sick. So that's my biggest flex. But the reason I'm talking about that is because I feel like this is the perfect time to do a little bit of a lifestyle audit. I feel like we're almost like going to drop the ball in winter because it is so fucking cold. It's not even funny. So I'm like, okay, we need to do a little bit of a lifestyle audit so that we are making sure that we can still show up in winter, because I get the vibes. It is so fucking cold. You just want to lay in bed with your heat pack, which I've got with me right now, with your fluffy dog. Like, that's me in my life, and I do not want to get out of bed. I don't. But in the same breath, we've got goals. So I'm going to do a kind of how to tone up, how to lose weight in 5 steps lifestyle audit today. Little life recap first. I've been implementing something recently. I've been trialing different morning routines, which I need to almost like rework again because of daylight savings. Fucking hell. And I've also been thinking so heavily about things that actually make me happy, things that I'm excited for, and things that I kind of look forward to. And if you remember, if you're an OG listener, which I know some of you are, I was actively trying to book something in every single month. And I don't know why. I don't know if it was last month. I was starting to feel like overwhelmed with having things so often. Is that not funny? I was like, oh, I need to do more. I need to go out more. I need to, like, you know, book something every single month. And then I was like, whoa, this is a lot. And I always get caught between book something in, take a break, book something in, take a break. And I actually just spent the past weekend just doing my usual things, going for walks at home, all of the things. But it actually felt really, really nice to clean up my space. But I've been like, oh, I want to go out, I wanted this, I wanted that. No, I need to relax a little bit and figure out things that actually make me happy, things that I'm actually excited for, and then commit to them, if that makes sense. So something that I'm excited for, and you should actually go look up, is the Kath and Kim Drag Lockdown Edition comedy show. So Sydney Comedy Festival is going to be here. I actually don't know when the dates start, but I booked that the other day and I'm so excited for that. Like, I am looking forward to that. I have the retreat that I'm looking forward to, and I know these are like major things, but I've started actually keeping a bit of a list of things that actually just excited me in the week and made me happy, and just small little things. So for example, on the weekend I went to a new coffee place near me, and it was rampaged. It was ramping. It was like, what's the word? It was like wild, whatever. It was wild because, as I said, it was new, and it was a half an hour wait for my coffee. Now, I am not like, it was annoying obviously because I wanted to go for a walk before it got hot, but I'm not like standing there visibly annoyed. I'm not gonna complain. Like, I just wait. Whatever, like, so what? They're getting smashed. I can see they're getting smashed. It is what it is. I chose to come here when I knew the place was going to be new and everyone would be checking it out. Like, so that is literally on me. But I was waiting, standing there, waiting, chilling, whatever. And like, even some lady came up and was like complaining, like, where's my coffee? And I was like, oh, that is not the energy. That's not the vibes. But I was just waiting patiently. And you know what? I got rewarded for that. You know how I got rewarded for that? They put like little tiny teddies, which I don't think they were tiny teddies, only because like you can tell me your thoughts on this, but obviously not every single person can get the cookies or the brownie or whatever the fuck they put on top, right? Because they're gluten, like they might be gluten free or something like that. So like, how do you know if that's safe to eat? Then you have to ask, and it's a whole thing. But then I guess if you're gluten free, are you saying I don't want the cookie on top? But then how do you know if the cookie is on top or not? Clearly, I've been really thinking about this, because like, how are you supposed to know? I'm not gluten-free or anything, so I don't really know how that goes down. So if you are, tell me, because I'm like, so I've been thinking about this heavily and I'm confused. Anyway, he, like, nowhere in my area does little cookies, brownies, anything on top. I feel like it's more like a Northern Beaches city style thing, but I've never, ever, ever got a coffee with like a cookie. Ever. And I'm like sad about it. Like that's what I live for. I always see heaps of girls that live like beaches way, especially Gold Coast in Queensland. It's like, it's always like them getting like cookies, little brownies, all these things. And I'm like, oh, I love that. Anyway, so I go and he puts 5 cookies on top of my coffee because I waited so long. And I was waiting for my partner, and my partner didn't get a coffee, and he's like, oh, only one of you got a coffee, here's some extra cookies. And he like chucked them all on top of my cup, and I was like, oh, there's 5 cookies here. And then they actually were so yum. I actually had to share them with Luke, which is really sad. I didn't fucking want to, did I? And I was like, these aren't tiny teddies, but whatever they are, they fucking slap. So there might be the gluten-free ones. I don't know. I asked one of my clients yesterday who's gluten-free, and she was like, oh, I haven't tried them. And I was like, oh, come on, girl. So I don't want to take gluten-free supplies from anyone, of course. Like this is a conversation I have with her all the time. I'm not gluten-free, so I'm not going to take the resources from you because I can eat gluten. And I think it's so shitty when people prefer gluten things and then like people who are genuinely gluten-free can't get them. So I was like, oh my gosh, like, no, I'm not going to buy them, but I need to find his source because it was so yum. And then my mum was like, oh, maybe it was like knockoff, like not real tiny teddies. And I was like, well, whatever the fuck it was delicious. It was delicious. So those are like the little 1%ers, the little things that I've been like, oh, that actually like made my weekend. That was actually so good. And you know when things like that happen in the moment, you're like, oh, that was so nice. And then you just forget about it. I've been trying to like write down these things and remember about them so that I can actually reflect on my week and think about and write down like good things that happened. Another feel good moment recently was one of my clients and I celebrated 1 year of being inside one-to-one toned and trendy, and I got to, what I love about this job is you get to know every single person really individually, and you get to know the things they like, the things they don't like, and everything in between. And I got to like pick out a really customized gift, and it's actually so fun. You're like going and you're thinking about them and like what they're gonna like, and you're like, like I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. And I actually posted it on my story about celebrating 1 year together and giving the gift and stuff like that. And then I had some girls message me like, oh, what did you get her? And I was like, it's really personal actually. So I was like, it really is dependent on the person and whatever. But that was such a feel good moment for me. I was like, oh my gosh, like it's just so good celebrating, because obviously there's so many wins that this individual got inside Toned and Trendy anyway. Like they've literally been getting so strong. They've literally been losing weight. They've been repairing their relationship with food, and like they've just been doing the most. And then this gift is just like an extra appreciation on top. And then that was like a feel good moment for me. I actually filmed it secretly. Literally they went off and patted the dog, and then I was like quickly setting up my camera and she didn't even see it. So I don't know. I just was like, oh my God, I have this video forever now. I'm so grateful that I went and filmed it and all of these things. But I just wanted to share some feel good moments and give you a little idea to write down little things that happen. And they might be so basic and little. They might just literally be, oh my gosh, like I got extra cookies at the fucking cafe. But like, how is that not the best thing ever? Like genuinely. So that's what's been happening in my life. But let's get into it. We're doing a lifestyle audit. I've written 5 steps on how to tone up and lose weight, in literally 5 steps. For me, I wrote down those 5 steps and no notes. No notes. This is a no note episode, which honestly most of them are. I'm just going to be literally talking about things I do, things that my clients do, things that literally work, and we're going to get into it. So first things first, let's audit your current routine. Step 1, what is your current routine looking like? I'm going to break it down for you. Are you someone that always has intentions to go for a walk, but you're really busy between work and uni and life and you never have time to get in time for a walk? Are you someone that you know you have time for it, but you're a procrastinator and you're like, oh, I'll put it off. And then next minute it starts raining, or next minute it's too hot to go for the walk, or next minute something pops up and you can't go for the walk anymore. I want you to think about what type of person you are in this. So if I think about my current routine, I love a good time block, but also equally no day is the same. Every single day my routine is so different between sessions, check-ins, and everything in between. And I never have a set time. Like I can't be that type of person that says I'm going to train at 12 o'clock every single day. Like it just does not work for me like that. And I can aim for that time, and that's great to have that intention of aiming for that time, but it doesn't necessarily work. So thinking, where can I actually go about it and fit it in without being too strict? So when I say I love a time block, I do, but don't be so strict with it. Don't be like, I'm training at 12 and then next minute it's 12:01 and you're like, oh, can't train can't train. How many of us do that? We convince ourselves like, oh, I'll turn my phone off at like 10 past 8. And then it's like 11 past 8. And we're like, oh, I'll do it at 20 past. And then it's 20 past. And you're like, oh, and you just keep missing it. And next minute you've wasted an hour that you could have got your whole session done. Or you could have gone to bed an hour earlier or whatever the thing may be. So let's actually break down what your current routine is and see where there's gaps so that we can work on it. I was actually talking to someone the other day and she was like, oh, I like, coach sport, I play in a team, like all that stuff. I can never get time for the gym, especially following like a 5-day program, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, well, why do you need to follow a 5-day program? Where can you actually fit the sessions in? You have 7 days in the week. Why don't we aim for 1 to 3? Somewhere in the 1 to 3 range. If you get 1, perfect. If you get 3, amazing. Like you don't need to be aiming for 5 days. And I think when you break it down like that, because for some reason we all get in our head, oh my God, I can only do it Monday to Friday. I can only do gym things Monday to Friday. Well, why can't you do it on the weekend? Because you're cutting 2 days out and then you're stressing yourself out trying to get 3 sessions in within 5 days. That's so stressful. So breaking down your actual current routine, seeing where you have gaps in your day, and seeing and calling yourself out on where you're procrastinating and not getting shit done. That's first step, which I will circle back to it in a second. I'm going to give you a full example of how I'm going to switch up your routine, change things around, everything with like a hypothetical situation. Step 2, steps. Oh my God, you guys sleep on steps so much. I think steps are the most underrated weight loss tool ever. Most underrated weight loss tool. Why? Because you're not fucking doing them, first and foremost. You're not increasing your output. You're not fucking doing them. So then your calories are low as fuck. My favorite sentence is, my maintenance is 1,200 calories. No, it's not, bitch. The only reason you think it's that low is because you refuse to do any steps. Your output is so minimal. You bed rot all day. That's why your maintenance is so low. Your maintenance is not that low. That's a toddler's fucking day of eating. Minimum day of eating, because no one's tracking their fucking toddler's calories, but you know what I'm saying. That's like the minimum needs of what a toddler needs. The minimum requirements of what a toddler needs. Like, are we for real? Anyway, steps. What are your actual steps right now? Don't tell me that you get 3K a day. I know you can do more. I know you can push that little bit more. And listen, I can make your weight loss so simple, but I'm not going to pretend that you're not going to have to change things up a little bit. The reason you're on this episode is because you want to lose weight. You want to tone up. That's why you're here. So why are you playing small and saying, I'm just going to do 3,000 steps? Steps are like literally like, yes, they're time consuming. Yes, it takes about an hour to get 8,000 steps. That's like about 6 kilometers. Yes, it is a little bit of effort, but you know what? It is the easiest amount of effort. Imagine doing a HIIT workout. Imagine having to get in the gym when your anxiety is fully peaked and you're feeling a bit insecure and overwhelmed. Like, steps are the most simple task that you can do inside on your walking pad, on your treadmill, or outside in your street. And before you come at me with like, oh my God, I have the worst street in the world, it's so busy. Don't even. I literally walk, my clients know this, I literally walk in my street that has no footpaths. It's literally like so dodgy. The grass is so long on the side of the road, or there's literally like fucking duck poo, bird poo, dog poo on the side of the road, and 2 cars can barely fit there, let alone you on the side of the road. So then you're stuck in the long grass bushes when you're trying to get your steps up. Like, I need to set the scene for you, yet I still do that every single fucking day. I do have a walking pad, which I will use if it's raining and stuff like that, but every single day I am out there in that fucking street with those hills, no pathways, with my crazy dog walking. So what's your excuse? Honestly, what is your excuse? I get it. It sucks. Yesterday, I literally time blocked. As I said, I time block roughly, and I was like, at 4:30 I'm going to go for a walk. 4:30 is the only time I have to walk, so if I don't go at 4:30 I'm not getting my steps in. I only had about 7,000 steps, so I was like, I need to go because I don't have time to make up for it. I have sessions and then it's going to be so late because of daylight savings now. You have to be more strategic now with daylight savings. I was like, I need to fucking go out at 4:30. I get up at 4:30-ish, I go into my wardrobe, I start putting my clothes on, I put the harness on the dog, and then I was like, I actually don't really want to go for this walk right now. I just realized. But too bad. I already put on my clothes. I already dedicated my time to this and I'm going. And I know that just is proof that is mind over matter. I never really feel like doing things. I'm also human. I also worked a long day yesterday. I also can't really be bothered. I also still wasn't finished work. I had work again after I had done my walk. But I was like, that doesn't align with my goals. How dare I stand on the scale and complain about the scale going up or not moving down, but I haven't actually gone on a walk and done the extra mile. And again, it's the easiest thing I could do. Imagine if we only had access to like HIIT workouts and Stairmasters to lose weight. That is insane. Do you know how much effort and energy that is? But a walk, you can stroll. You don't have to walk fast. You can take in the scenes. Just get out there and move your body. And literally anytime I'm on my clients about not getting their steps and they start increasing their steps and actually meeting what I've set them, they're like, oh my God, wow, like my body's changing so much. I'm losing so much weight. And I'm like, stop sleeping on steps. You are sleeping on steps. It literally accelerates and fast tracks your weight loss journey. And if you have the energy at the end of the day to do a few more, do a few more. I literally always talk about this with one of my girls. She always is going more and more and more, and she gets like 16,000, 17,000 on an average in the week. And I'm like, it just pays off, because if you have the energy, why not? It literally is so easy, so good. Like, you may as well do it. On top of her sessions. So step 3, sessions. As I mentioned before, literally you can go once a week. If you only have time to go once a week, go once a week, because at the end of the day, your nutrition is most important. And next, I would argue and say steps. Your steps is more important than your sessions, because honestly, you going into the gym and doing a half-ass job in the gym is not actually the most crazy thing I'm looking forward to. Does that make sense? Because how many times do you walk into the gym, there's 101 people around, you're waiting for all this equipment, you've done your exercise out of order, and it just feels like the worst workout in the world, but then you don't have your steps. I would rather you go get your steps. Genuinely, I would rather that. But I'm going to talk sessions. All of my clients sit between about 2 to 4 sessions a week. I personally do 4 a week. A lot of my clients, if I had to average it out, most clients do 3 a week. So we normally break it up in an upper body, a lower body, and a full body so that we can get the most out of the week. It does depend on goals and things like that, but that is like, I would say, the most common split that I do inside my world, because we want to try to get every single muscle as much as we can without feeling like we have to go to the gym 100 days of the fucking week. Like, we don't want to be going 5 days a week. And I think that expectation that we need to go 5 days a week to lose weight needs to go, because I only train 4 days. I personally do 2 upper body, 2 lower body. So we need to calm down on this expectation of we need to go do legs 3 days a week if we want to build a body, build a booty. I have done legs 3 days a week, and it served me at the time, but I also know deep down that my 3rd session was never that good. My first one was good. My second one was pretty good as well. My 3rd one, always kind of shit. I always kind of dreaded it. It was never that good. So none of my clients really do a 3rd day. And if they do, I actually have I hope she's listening to this. One of my Toned and Trendy girls, she was like, I want to do 6 sessions a week. And I said, I want you to actually hit your steps first, because if you're not even hitting your steps, I'm not adding extra sessions in. And I know what you're probably thinking, okay, I don't even have time for that, Jess. Like, you're giving such crazy examples. Okay, let me go back to the girl before that. I was just talking about how she does training. I think she refs. I don't really know all the ins and outs in her. She's not my client. We've just had a little conversation before, so I don't know the ins and outs of her life. But I said to her, let's just do 1 session a week. Do a full body, because she has access to my 5-day program. She's not my one-to-one client. She just has access to my program. I was like, if you want, break down lower body 1 into 2 to 3 exercises, upper body 1 into 2 and 3 exercises. So then you have about 4 to 6 exercises in a 1 session, which will take you about 45 minutes to an hour. Take the compounds, which are the first 1 to 2 movements in the thing, and then mush them together, and you have a really great, effective full body workout. I was like, it doesn't need to be overcomplicated. And then she was like, oh my gosh, like every time we have this have a conversation, I feel like it's like I'm always in my head feeling so overwhelmed, and you just make it seem so much easier and so much less complicated. And I was like, that's my job. I literally was like, that's my job. I'm here to take the guesswork out of doing the most, because I think it gets so hard when you're thinking, okay, I need to do steps, I need to change my routine, I need to do sessions, and it's like, oh my god, we haven't even gotten into step 4 and step 5. And how are you feeling right now? Are you feeling overwhelmed when I talk about all these things? Or are you thinking, oh my god, I actually can fit 1 session in a week, and I don't know why I was being so crazy before, because I think 1 session is manageable. And I get it. You're probably in your head so much right now. You're probably thinking, oh my gosh, like I have major gym anxiety. How am I going to get in and do all of these things? How am I supposed to get on the machines? I actually had someone start with me literally this week, and she has a bit of gym anxiety as well. And I was like, you know what I'm going to do for you? I'm going to make your first workout block purely dumbbells, not purely actually, like 90% dumbbells, so that you can set up in the corner of the gym and actually not feel like you're in the center of the gym, you're using the machines that you're not very comfortable with and everyone's watching you, so that you can have a bit of a moment in the corner, working on yourself, sticking to yourself, and that actually helps you build up the foundations. When you download a free program online, you're probably like it's probably like obviously not thinking but beginner friendly and, you know, gym anxiety friendly. You're getting in the gym and it's telling you to get on the hack squat. Oh my fucking God. If you told me to get on the hack squat when I first started, I'd be walking out of that bitch. So it's actually thinking, where can we be a bit more strategic? We have anxiety getting into the gym. That's okay. How can we make sure that your workout is fully dumbbell and fully set up in a way that it makes sense? You're not running across the gym. You're not working out on the craziest equipment. Dumbbells, setting up in the corner and doing really basic movement machines. I literally pretty sure I told her to do, I think I put in like lying leg curls because I knew she would be able to do that. I knew it would be a bit of a push, but I knew she'd be able to do that. So it's like, where can you actually audit your sessions as well to make them fit in your routine in terms of how many days you can train, but make them actually as seamless, as simple as possible. And if you're like, well, fuck, it's so overwhelming, this is actually a sign that you need a coach, because if all of that is feeling so overwhelming and it's stopping you from working towards your goals, then you're never going to lose weight and tone up, because it's literally such a massive barrier stopping you right now from achieving your goals. I feel like I'm yapping your ear off, but equally, you guys know, if you're inside my world, if you're inside my broadcast, all of the things, you know that I am a yapper. I love to talk, especially on this topic. Obviously, this is my job. Obviously, I'm so passionate about it, but in the same breath, like, there's so many of us struggling to even start on our journey right now because there's so many things holding us back. It feels so overwhelming. No one's making weight loss simple anymore. I literally scroll on my phone. No wonder you're also confused. Why does social media complicate weight loss? I can make weight loss so simple for you, hence the point of this episode. I don't want you to feel like so overwhelmed trying to lose 5 to 10 kilos. Like, why is it that the hardest thing in the world? And I feel like I get a lot of messages every day, like, those last 5 to 10 kilos are so hard to lose. Like, it's so hard. Like, how do you do it? Because I obviously lost 20 kilos. So everyone's like, how did you do it? And I'm like, I didn't give in to the noise. I stopped listening to every single thing on social media and only actually listen to genuine advice. And when I say genuine advice, as I said before with this girl, I have a conversation in my DMs with these girls. I don't just leave you in the lurch. If you have a genuine question, I respond, obviously within my capabilities, because, you know, I got a message recently and I've never spoken to this girl ever, and she was like, oh, I've been struggling to lose weight, blah, 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 like 101 reasons. And I was like, whoa, like, have you had a blood test if that's the case with what she was talking about? Obviously, privacy, confidentiality, I don't want to share all the details, but I was like, have you gotten a blood test? And she was like, no, like, this other coach said this. And I was like, first of all, you're going to get really overwhelmed listening to everyone else, comparing your journey to everyone else, and looking at what, like, she was talking about how this coach posted results and like everyone else did really great and she didn't feel that she did that good in this challenge. And I was like, well, did those girls have potentially more weight to lose? Like, what did this coach say about this? I don't really want to step on this coach's toes. And she was like, oh, well, she said this and this. And I was like, well, listen, like, I would be doing this right now, but don't compare yourself. That is going to derail you quicker than any other thing in your journey. Getting in your head, comparing yourself, and having the scales as your holy grail. One of my clients has lost 20 plus centimeters of her entire body. And I'm not just saying like, oh, you know, like a lot of that is from her legs or her arms. No, literally it was 11 centimeters of her waist, 9 centimeters of her hips alone. That's not even including her arms, her legs, her chest, things like that. Her scale weight has stayed within the same 2 kilos like the whole time. But she literally said to me, my thighs no longer touch. I have literally like a bit of a 2-pack going on. Like, you can see her abs, they're coming in because she's getting leaner. She was like, I like feel so good. I look so skinny in my outfits. Like, these are all her words. And I was like, exactly. Like, the scales are literally so irrelevant. And she used to think that they were important before we obviously started working together. She used to think, oh my God, like, the scale's not moving. I'm not making results. I'm not seeing results. But I've like really drilled into her. You need to look at the data. You need to look at your measurements. You need to look at your photos. And lo and behold, she's finally, it took months, but she's finally switched her mindset from I need this scale to change to I am seeing insane changes in my photos. And if you're someone that hates doing photos and hates doing measurements, then there's a deeper problem there, because I know it can feel a bit how you're going. Like, you don't want to really read the numbers and you're like, oh, like this is a bit uncomfortable. But how are you supposed to change your life, audit your routine, and do all of the things if you're not willing to get uncomfortable? I actually had a DM the other day. She was like, I really want to join Toned and Trendy because I want to push out of my comfort zone. Like, I need to work on my social anxiety. I need to push and do more. And I was like, yes. Like, this is the year of doing shit that scares you. This is the year of getting outside of your comfort zone. Like, why the fuck not? Why are we playing so small, feeling so stressed and insecure about like a number on the scales? I'm like, absolutely not. Like, let's fucking go. And I just gave so many examples and so many different people in like 1 second that literally just proves how often I have these conversations. But let's keep going on the 5-step list. So step 4, nutrition. When I talk about nutrition, I think the first and most overwhelming thing I always hear is just like, how the fuck am I supposed to lose weight when I live at home? I eat the same meals as my family. Like, I can't afford to be going and buying all of these crazy meals. I can't afford to be doing this. And I'm like, I get it. I fully get it. But that actually is not your problem right now. Your problem is you don't actually even know how to track food. So we're thinking straight away, based on social media, again, we need to go buy that YoPro. We need to go buy that protein powder. We need to go and buy those soy crisps, the puffs, the protein puffs. We need to buy this, we need to buy that. And that obviously racks up. The puffs alone are like $11 for like 200 grams. It's actually insane. So that obviously racks up really quickly. And then you're thinking, okay, I've got some fucking yogurt and some puffs and some powder. Now what? How many fucking meals can I make out of this? Literally. But what I actually need you to learn is how to track if you want to track. If you don't want to track, just have some discernment. You don't need to track. But I do think tracking is the best way to actually be knowledgeable about what you're eating. Because prior to tracking, I actually didn't even understand how many calories were in things. And of course, I'm going to be talking about calories. Like, for example, Ben & Jerry's, like a tub is like 1,000 calories. You wouldn't think something that little is almost your full or half a day of daily eats. Half a day. But if you had that Ben & Jerry's, I'm sure you had that at the end of the day on top of your 3 meals plus your snacks. You know what I mean? And that's how we get pushed over and we gain weight. And things happen so quickly like that. And I'm not saying that, you know, I'm not trying to demonize Ben & Jerry's. I fucking love it. Why do you think it's in like my example? Because I literally had it the other day. But you'd be surprised how quickly those things add up. So I need you to learn how to track your calories, or at least know what's inside food, so we know where you're going right or wrong in terms of if you're overeating, undereating, all of the things, making sure you're actually getting those 1%ers, like getting enough fiber, getting enough protein, all of those things. But if you're not learning that and you're going straight into the healthy, quote unquote healthy aisle at fucking Woolies, healthy foods that you can see in there, you're actually never going to lose the weight, because it's not about necessarily eating healthy. It's about being in your deficit and having food that fills your body. So yes, that requires healthy, but that also requires balance. Like, balance is healthy. So that's why I'm saying, for example, you do want the ice cream, but you want to be aware of how much is actually the serving size. I think the serving size for Ben & Jerry's is 150 mils. What the fuck is 150 mils? You know what I mean? Like, you don't know those things until you actually learn them. And the reason you need to learn it is so that you don't have to make your own meals. So you're probably thinking, okay, like, you've just talked so much about tracking, but what's that got to do with anything? Well, you're going to eat the same meals as your family, but you're going to track your portion out. So I used to think this as well. Like, how am I going to make my own meals? Like, that's so crazy. I'm not going to go stand in the kitchen while my mum's making one meal and make a whole nother meal. Like, absolutely not. You don't have to. My mum literally, we normally eat, I think I've talked about this, we normally eat like stir fry style things. So it'll be like rice, chicken, and like mixed veg. So like potato, beans, carrots. I fucking hate beans, but they're in there. All of those things, and like a satay sauce. So that's like a great meal. So what I do is, I don't do this anymore, but what I used to do, I would weigh out my rice to make sure I had enough. Now I can eyeball it because I am knowledgeable enough to eyeball it. So if you're thinking, oh my God, I don't want to do this for the rest of my life, you don't have to, because you start to learn. So I would weigh out my rice, make sure I'm tracking it cooked. Obviously, it's very confusing between cooked and raw with pasta and stuff like that. I always weigh cooked because I'm obviously not cooking it normally. So what's the point of the raw weight? I have no idea how much is in there, especially because it's with like all my family stuff. So I always put in the data and I'm like, okay, cooked weight. So I weigh my rice, and then I weigh my beef and vegetables together because it's mixed in the same pot. But I can kind of, again, eyeball and figure out what's like 100 grams of carrots, what's like 100 grams of potato, things like that, and trying to eyeball and make sure I have enough. If you're really new to it, pull them out and do it. And it's really fucking like finicky. Like you're of course gonna have to pull out like all the beef and then all the veg, but you will learn over time and it'll get so much easier. And then I don't have to make my own meal. I've just eaten exactly what my family were eating. That has like 30 grams of protein, like 40 grams of carbs. Pretty low in fat, but I get my fat elsewhere anyway. And it's just a really whole balanced meal. And I didn't have to actually stress about making myself, spending money on any of the things, because I know that is like a number one issue for girls in their 20s. Like I got a message the other day. She was like, I'm still studying. I'm trying to figure out how to eat healthy. It's so expensive. I can't afford a coach, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, relax. You can eat the same meals as your family. Like calm down a little bit. Like you are stressing yourself out, making it so much harder than it needs to be. And when you're stressing yourself out in these situations, what happens? Your body responds to stress, meaning that you're not going to lose the weight because your stress, your cortisol is going to be so high. And your body's going to be like, no, bitch, I'm not losing any weight because you're stressing me the fuck out. And now I'm feeling a heightened stress response and I'm not dropping shit on the scales. So you really need to calm it down and relax a little bit on that. And I know we're so busy. So this takes me into the last tip, number 5, last step, habit stacking. And I know you don't want to fucking hear it, but this saves me. For example, I have a call 3 times a week at midday. The most annoying time of the day, let's be real. Thank God it just changed to midday with daylight savings. It used to be fucking 1 p.m. Anyway, I know that I need to be listening in that call, but it doesn't mean I can't multitask. So when I'm in that call, what do? Like a few things. I will do my cardio session. I do 20 minutes on the bike on my training days. So on my training days, on 2 of those days of the week, I do my 20 minutes on the bike while I'm listening into the call. The call goes for an hour. So then sometimes if I've done my bike session or I'm like ahead of the game or whatever, then sometimes I will put it in my kitchen. I will walk around my kitchen. I will like unpack the dishwasher. I will do little 1% of tasks. I will get my steps up while I'm doing that. I'll normally I'll like sort out my washing, whatever, while I'm listening to this video. Then I will start to make my lunch. Habit stacking. Literally habit stacking. Sometimes I'll go on a walk outside with it, but it is like a Zoom. So it's like you need good fucking Wi-Fi. And if you know where I live, there's fucking no service. So sometimes I will be out on a walk listening to the Zoom. There is literally so many different ways that I'm getting my steps while I'm listening to this. So I'm 2 birds, 1 stone. Or I'm doing my cycle session while I'm listening to this. 2 birds, 1 stone. Or another thing I actually do outside of those days or just whatever's going on in my life, sometimes I do my cycle session and I read at the same time. You guys know, what did I say my book goal was this year? I don't know. I'm going terrible, to be honest. I really need your book recommendations. I asked for them. No one sent me any. I need thriller book recommendations. Go look at my story graph and give me recommendations, because I literally feel like I've read all the good thriller books lately and I just feel like I have nothing to read. And I messaged one of my friends about it and I was like, I wish you read thriller. She reads fucking romance. I was like, I wish you read thriller because I have no recommendations. One of my clients runs a romance book club. I'm like, where are the thriller girls? I need thriller recommendations. I feel like I've read them all. Anyway, I will get on the cycle and I'll read, because I know that sometimes reading just helps me calm down a bit, de-stress, get my mind off work. Obviously, like every level is a new devil is something that my mentor always says to me, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I feel it now. And sometimes I feel like I don't even have time to read, or I feel like my brain feels like it's going to explode and I'm feeling like I'm at full capacity with things. I'm like, okay, take a moment, go do your cardio, go read, take a moment, sit outside. Yesterday I literally sat in the sun and flipped my phone so that the reflection was on the roof and my dog was running back and forth, and that brought me joy. I didn't add that in my list at the start. That brought me joy. I laughed out loud at her. It was really funny because I just needed a moment, a break from everything. It was like 3 o'clock. I'd been working since 7. I was like, I just need a breath. I need a bit of a moment. And my dog's making me laugh. And that wasn't necessarily habit stacking in the last example, but it kind of was. My dog was getting exercise. I was getting some sun. Like, where can you make things so much easier? For example, even I love listening to podcasts on walks, or even at the gym. Sometimes I used to listen to podcasts and I was like elevating and learning so much about it. Depended on my mood, but sometimes it would be like an educational one. Sometimes it would be like a life one, a money one, whatever the thing may be. And I'd be learning that whilst working out. And it's like, where can you make that a little bit easier? Or I actually have one more example. The other day we were standing and waiting for the coffee and we were already on a walk, but I was like, I should be like out there and just walking. Like, I have 30 minutes to kill. Where are there times in your day that you can actually kill some time and put things together? Can you read while you walk, or read while you cycle, or whatever? Can you watch your favorite TV show while you're in the gym, or listen to your favorite podcast while you're in the gym? Can you go around and do some laps while you're listening or watching your favorite YouTube video? Like, I know a lot of us clean up and like watch YouTube. Can we do some steps around the house while we're doing that? Can we, do like go the extra mile somewhere? Like, that is literally going to elevate your weight loss. That is all from me on the 5 tips. I feel like I have so much more to say, but I also don't want to overwhelm you. So just a little recap, 5 tips and I'm going to come back to the audit, current routine, hypothetical situation, but 5 tips on how to lose weight and tone up. 5 steps. 1, order your current routine. 2, don't sleep on your motherfucking steps. 3, do sessions within your means. 4, look at your fucking nutrition, but don't overcomplicate it. Learn how to track and actually figure out what you do and don't know about nutrition. 5, habit stack. Stop sleeping on multitasking when you can, especially with daylight savings, because it's getting darker and no one has time for that shit by the end of the day. It's 5 o'clock, the sun's down, and going to fucking bed, bitch. I don't want to be doing my steps. I don't want to be doing my session. I don't want to be chasing my tail. So where can we do those 5 things? I'm going to give you a hypothetical situation on how you can audit your current routine. So I kind of gave examples all throughout, but I want you to sit down right now and figure out, where do you have time and space in the day to do things? So for example, what do you actually do between 8 and 9 a.m.? Are you running out the door for work? Are you just laying in bed and scrolling your phone? Because I know I used to waste so much time sitting in bed and scrolling my phone. I used to spend like 45 minutes scrolling my phone, and I would be like, oh, I'm posting and whatever, which I was, but I also would just scroll my phone and get distracted, and the next minute it was so long. Where are you wasting time that you can get up? And I hate, this is like gonna call you out. The other day I was like, oh my God, it takes me so long to do this. And then I timed it on my phone and it took me about an hour and a half to get the whole thing done. And I was like, oh, like, I don't know what I'm always been doing. I don't know if I'm imagining how long it's taking me, or if I just like have been wasting time, but that did not take me long at all. Like, I'm so full of shit. So it's like actually breaking down where you have blocks of time in your day. And yes, I'm privileged in the fact that I can go to the gym at any time, because, well, not any time, because obviously I have bookings and clients and whatever, but because it's in my house, I just have to walk downstairs. I don't have to travel there and things like that. So I don't need as much time, if you will. But in the same breath, I don't think some of you realize how busy I am, and I still get it done, because I know how good I feel when I'm getting it all done. And if you're on this episode right now and you're listening to this, and you're here because you know how badly you want to lose the weight and tone up. So I would be taking all of these tips, writing them down, figuring out where you have time in your routine to implement it, and going from there. On a serious note though, I'm actually really needing your book recommendations. So if you're a reading girly, a thriller girly, please send them through. And you need to join the fucking broadcast. It's free on my Instagram, and I go through all of this all the time. So if you're needing live, real fucking motivation in the moment, beyond just waiting every single Wednesday for this podcast, which I feel like is like the longest week of my life. I'm always waiting for the new episode to come out, and I'm always so excited about it. I'm like, yeah, which I'm sure you all feel the same. So join the broadcast. It's free. I'm going to link it below, which is really fucking great. Anyway, that is all from me. If you liked the vibes of this episode, please rate the podcast. Please let me know your feedback. I never know what you guys are liking. Well, I do, because I can see like who's watching what type thing, not who, but like I can see what has the most views and stuff. But if you like more fitness style of stuff, or what you want to know exactly, let me know. I would love to hear your feedback. And if you want to send it through anonymously, again, the link is in my broadcast. Everything leads back to the bloody broadcast. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this episode. Go and implement these tips. I want to see you toned up and losing weight, ready for fucking hot girl summer. When I say hot girl summer, I mean your hottest girl summer. Not you have to be hot to lose weight, blah, blah, blah. You already fucking know. You already know. But I want you to get ready for your hottest girl summer, and that starts now. We do it through winter. So that is all from me. I will see you all soon, and I can't wait to hear how you go implementing all of this. Mwah. That's a wrap on another episode of Navigating Your 20s. Thank you so much for joining me and taking the time to listen. If you enjoyed the conversation, vibes, and got something out of today, please feel free to send me a DM with any key takeaways and feedback, or share on your socials and tag me so we can connect. If you liked today's episode and you're wanting more from me, you can find me on all socials at success.withjess.